Hello, it's Rod from the Australian Academy of Tai Chi. We're here for the Gold Coast City Council Active and Healthy program, and that's what it's all about. Just make sure you've got enough comfortable space around you so that your arms are clear and you're able to stretch. We naturally get our social distancing when we do our Tai Chi because we have to keep that little bit of room around. Make sure there's nothing there that you're going to bump into. The important thing, the most important, is only go as far as you can comfortably. Don't worry about how far anybody else can go or how far you think you should be able to go, but just adjust your movements. We have Tai Chi people of all different levels. We have elite athletes that can stretch in the air and go up a long way, and we even have some frail elderly people that are not able to go very far. So even if you just lift your hands up and you think, okay, that's as far as I can go comfortably, I've got a bit of a sore shoulder, then that's okay. But if you can lift your arms a bit higher, that's good. If you can go right up high, that's even, well, you know, okay for you, not so good for somebody else. You might even go right up on your toes and stretch and extend way up above your head. Now, if there was two things that I could recommend that you need to do every day, that would be one of them. To lift the arms and to open outwards. And then just simply relax and come back down again. So only go as far as you can, comfortably. If it feels comfortable, it's good, whatever level it might be. Now, another advantage of being able to stretch up in the air is it stretches through all of the internal organs, right through the middle of the body. And when you lift your heels up, then you're even starting to work on your balance a little bit extra. But sometimes it might not work for you. You might go up a little bit higher and, well, you start to lose your... Well, don't hold on. Don't try and keep the stress. Let it go. When you get up there and you start to lose your balance, go, I did that on purpose. Make it look natural. Just relax and let go. And that's still the key point, to relax and let the weight go down through the body. Go as far as you can comfortably, regularly. You get what you practice, you lose what you don't use. So very simple preparation exercise, gentle stretching. Now there's a little bit extra here in the feet. If you line the feet up as close as comfortable to parallel, unlock the knees and sit a little bit with the hips. Now it's not how far you go bending the knees. If you just focus on the knees, you're more likely to put strain onto the knee joints. But if you just bend the knees over the top of the feet and sit from the middle of the body, you think of gently activating the pelvic floor, the abdomen and the lower back to sit down with the hips. You should feel that engage the muscles on the thighs, inside the knees, onto the shins and onto the calves a little bit as well. So you lower to relax, but then you sit to scoop and to gather as if you're holding something heavy. Chin in, head up, shoulders back, you know the drill, sit up straight. Then lift through the legs, through the back, through the arms, as if you could reach into the sky and separate the clouds. Relax, release to lower the weight, and sit to scoop to gather. Extend and lift to gently stretch. So you can do different variations. You can imagine reaching up to pluck the fruit. The monkey plucks the peach. It's a traditional name, traditional story. Imagine pulling down, letting the hand release and relax, extend and stretch up on the other side. So whatever version you do, wave your hands around in the air at least a few times during the day. It helps to lift the spirit. Have you ever seen anybody go, I'm really happy? Or someone go, I'm unhappy, I don't feel well? So sometimes if you just feel a little bit fatigued and the batteries need a little bit of a charge, then lift your hands, stretch in the air, reach for the stars, open to the horizon, broaden your horizon, relax. The other one that I think is just as important, well, we can do a little bit of walking. Walking is a good exercise. Even just doing a little bit of walking on the spot can be quite beneficial. By focusing on lifting the heels and coming up onto the tip of the toes, you get a little bit more work through the ankle, through the knee, and you're still working your hips here a little bit. You can even let the whole body join in to become part of the flow, or if you feel like doing a little bit more, you can start doing a bit more jogging. Go for a little run. You stay there on the spot. Yeah? So even just simple exercise like this can be very beneficial. But If you do walk regularly, keep it up, it's good for you. But it's not enough. And just increasing the amount of walking that you do still won't give you all of the benefits that you need. So that's why we need to look at some of the extra things. One of the simple things is just being able to lift the knees a little bit higher. So this is what I think is the second most important thing that you should do every day. Spend some time standing on one leg and relaxing, making it as easy as you can. If you need to, practice holding on to something. Nothing wrong with that. It's neuromuscular training, so if you think about what you're doing, you're feeling what you're doing, then you can do it comfortably. So, some knee lifting exercises. So if you go for a walk, you might want to do a few extra knee lift exercises as a warm-up, or part of the way through, or even at the end, if you want to focus a little bit more on just doing a bit of lifting and a little bit of gentle stretching there. But walking doesn't use the hip joints very much at all. There's just one little part rubbing backwards and forwards 10,000 times, they say. Well, if you do simple exercises like this, then you make more use of the function of the hip joint. You get to rotate the ball inside the socket. And this simple one is just pivoting on the ball of the foot, bring the heel in, bring it out. Try to stay stable on the other side. If you feel comfortable and you can sit a little bit lower and focus on your posture, you might be able to go a little bit further. There's actually even a simpler version that you can do sitting, lying down even, and that is turning the toes from side to side to rotate inside the ball joint of the hip. Again, these are very simple exercises, but very beneficial. The most important thing with a joint is that you move it. It's use it or lose it. And we need to look at movements that work through all of the different ranges of movement. And, think about how the joint works. This rotates the ball inside the socket. So all those rotator muscles around the hip, the stabilizing from the center of the body, even the strength in the leg that's supporting the body, are being worked, even though it looks like a very simple exercise. And just so we can get the same movement on the other side there, I'm going to turn the toes in and out again. Just pivoting directly into the hip joint. So, working with the joints, move them. When you move the joints, it releases the synovial fluid that nourishes the joint surfaces. If the joints stay still, they starve. But when you move, it's mealtime. They're getting nutrition. So when we say to nurture, we also mean to nourish, to feed the joints, and to move all the connective tissues around the joints in a gentle way that doesn't cause any injury or strain. But there's really one more part, and I might just tap the foot to wake the nerves up a little bit, stimulating the circulation. And that is thinking about what you're doing, being mindful. Think about the inside of the heel, the middle of the heel, the outside edge of the heel. Move down the edge of the foot, down to the little ball of the foot behind the little toe. See if you can move your little toe, your second toe, your third toe, your fourth toe, the big toe. Get the feeling of those on the floor. Rolling around, you feel a little bit of movement through the balls of the feet up into the arch of the foot, into the ankle. And then down around the heel, the edge of the foot. Where the mind goes, the energy flows. And when we think about it, we make connections from our brain to our feet. This is a very important part of maintaining all those connections in the brain to maintain an awareness of your body. A lot of the time you won't even be aware of it, but when it comes to balance, your brain uses that sort of information to know where the body is in position. So I just did a little bit of waking up first and just sort of rolling around. So there's more focus on feeling in doing the exercise than how many repetitions or how fast or even how slow you go. It's the mindful awareness that we're really looking for. Inside of the heel, middle of the heel, outside edge of the heel, outside edge of the foot, little toes, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, big toe, across the balls of the feet, up into the arch of the foot. Sort of sensitivity and awareness. And even taking that back into the body so that you can think of the awareness through the whole body. Standing with the feet about shoulder width apart. The toes should be turned in as close as comfortable to parallel. That probably won't feel right if you've got your knees locked, but if you soften the knees, that helps a lot to get the weight into the feet. Now, this gives us a good position for balance, a good base of balance, but it also helps us to keep the joints in alignment. Even if the feet are just turned out a little bit, when we turn the body, the knee tends to get out of alignment very quickly. And the knee really only moves backwards and forwards. It doesn't like to rotate or twist. So when we bend the knees, we're careful not to go too far. We want to keep the feet parallel with the knees straight in line, and then to sit from the middle of the body so that we can sit up straight. We call this the horse riding stance, like as if we're sitting to ride a horse. Now, in some of the exercises and some of the more martial art forms, then we might use a bigger horse to go a little bit wider, or even to sit down lower. It all depends on how far you feel comfortable. But generally for our Tai Chi movements, we choose a width that's about the same width as the hips or the shoulders, so that we can simply move the center of gravity directly over the balance. And then when we turn the body, there we go, we're keeping that knee in alignment. So I should have mentioned that while we're doing these other exercises. Something for you to think about next time. Keeping the knee in strong alignment. In the middle position though, turning the hips from side to side, we're making use of that rotation in the hips without putting any stress onto the knees. And this is a really good, simple swinging arms exercise. I think lots of people do this. I see people just standing and even kids doing this instinctively, but they often don't use the legs enough. So if you can think about sitting, bending the knees, and sitting from the middle of the body to engage the muscles in the legs, you'll have a much stronger movement. You'll make more use of the internal muscles and a better exercise for the lower back. Shoulders relaxed, hanging loose by the sides. Look around as you turn. The first main thing I'll talk about is keeping the eyes level to look around. But if you don't feel comfortable looking around, sometimes that blurs the eyes and you feel a bit dizzy. If you feel uncomfortable like that, just keep looking straight ahead and turn your body. But if you can turn, you might turn your head with the body, keeping the eyes level to scan the horizon, or you may very well be able to go further and look all the way around. Go as far as you can comfortably. When the weather cools down a bit, you might want to become a little bit more vigorous and loosen a little bit extra, but most of the time we just focus on that standard width, centering through the middle of the body. Bring the posture into alignment and just turning comfortably as far as you can without twisting or straining. If the feet start to roll, that's a sign that they're under stress. They're not allowing the weight to go through the feet into the floor, into the ground. So think about how you keep everything in good alignment and how you move from the center. Up into the shoulders. Sit up straight, keep your head up, shoulders back, Grandma used to always say. She was right. Don't let things get you down. Don't let your head drop down. Keep your head up. Don't lift your face up. Try to lift through the neck, to lengthen the neck, to lift from the top of the head, keeping the chin in a little bit, and the shoulders to roll back. It's the tone in the muscles in between the shoulder blades that helps us to sit up straight and to keep the body upright. And just like the ball and socket joints of the hips, if you rotate into your joint here by turning, you're getting very good exercise for the shoulders. Most people say, well, that doesn't feel like much. It doesn't feel like I'm working very hard. Well, you're not working hard. That's good. But you're moving, so that's the most important thing for the joint. Now, you wouldn't be moving if you weren't using muscles. So we're actually using the muscles to rotate and to loosen all those connective tissues. And if you do put your hand on your shoulder, you'll feel just how much is going on the inside there. A lot of people injure their shoulders through rotator injuries. Very few people spend enough time, I think, loosening the shoulders correctly and doing good rotation exercises. So that can be done in a very simple and very gentle way. The elbow bends backwards and forwards, a little bit like the knee, but it also has that other function of being able to rotate from the wrist. or down into the wrist, rotating the forearm. And then we have the gliding movement of the wrist itself, to be able to move the wrist around. Now, this is a good thing to try and practice. Keep the arms still and just take your hand around in a circle, and that gently stretches all those tendons. The muscles that control them are up in the forearm, and you extend and stretch out into the fingers. So the rotation moves all those tendons and uses those muscles down there in the forearm. And then the other aspect is to be able to use the fingers, and particularly to extend and stretch the fingers out. We're often grabbing, holding, carrying, squeezing, things like that, but we also need to get the opposite exercise, which is to extend and to open the fingers out that little bit wide. Sometimes we can just give them a little bit of a shake to make sure they're loose. Let go any tension that's being held there. Sometimes we squeeze. And this is a very interesting aspect of the exercises that's very relevant in these interesting times. To think about squeezing the muscles to squeeze the bones. It's not just one muscle or one part that we're trying to think about. We're trying to feel an activation through the whole body to squeeze the bones and to release. This does help a little in strengthening the muscles, but it also helps to put a little bit more stress onto the bones. Acts as a weight-bearing exercise, but it's working right through the whole skeleton. So when we activate the muscles, we're not just working on one set, we're trying to get that feeling of everything connecting back into the center to squeeze the bones. So a little exercise I'm going to do for this, bring the feet in a little bit closer together, bend the knees, sit with the hips, shoulders back, chin in, lengthen the neck to sit up straight, spiral the hands into fists and squeeze the bones. Relax to release and lift with the palms. If you feel comfortable, lift your heels. Extend and stretch out to the front, then little finger, ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger and thumb to form fists. Bending the knees, drop the fists down. Engage the muscles in the legs, sit up to stretch up through the back. And engage the muscles in the arms to gently squeeze the bones and then release. We spiral and lift the hands out to the sides. Turn to look to the left side first. Doesn't really matter which one you do first. We're simply going to do both sides. We return to the middle. Engage the muscles in the legs, the pelvic floor, the abdomen, lower back, chin in, head up, shoulders back, gently squeeze and release. And then lift with the palms, extending out to the fingers to the front again. Spiraling to gather in, sitting down, sitting up straight, gently stretching. Squeeze and release. Spiral the hands again, lifting to the sides, scanning to the opposite side from before. Extend out to where you feel comfortable, whatever level that might be, then gather in, sitting back down into the middle. Gently squeeze the bones and release. To the front again, we do one at the front between each change. Focus, spiral to activate. One more direction to the back. Just extending back where you feel comfortable. And then extend to relax back down again. Sorry, I was thinking about something there when I did that. To push back, extend to stretch, sit back down into a position, sit up straight. Spiraling to lift, gather in and down. Gently squeezing the bones. So this helps in a lot of different ways, but through the traditional exercises they believe that putting the bones under a little bit of stress by gently squeezing doesn't just strengthen the bones, but it stimulates the bone marrow, and the bone marrow produces the immune cells, the red and the white blood cells. So this is a focus on what we call bone breathing from traditional Chinese exercise. One more thing before we run through our 18 techniques, and that's breathing. You've got to keep doing it. The old breath. It's been with you for as long as you've been around, and it will stay with you for as long as you're here. Be thankful of the breath. Sometimes we may have conditions where the lungs don't work quite as well as we would like to, and maybe from past abuse or different medical conditions, but regardless of that, we just try to make the best of what we can. So if at any time you don't feel comfortable following the breathing, just relax, just let it go. Allow it to work naturally. But the general idea is that we want to lengthen the breath to take a longer and bigger breath, so that we take less breaths to get the same amount of oxygen that we need. Short, shallow breaths, well, they make you feel anxious as well. It stimulates the nervous system. But longer, slower, deeper breaths give you control over your nervous system. By taking conscious control of the parasympathetic nervous system, we can control the sympathetic nervous system. So this is very beneficial for relaxation, for pain management, and in a way just helping to reduce stress, letting go of any tension. So when we breathe, we want to use the diaphragm. Now the best way I think of doing that is to take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. As far as you can comfortably until the breath is empty, then relax. Relaxing the chest, closing the ribs, and activating the diaphragm to empty the lower part of the lungs. By taking a longer, slower, and deeper breath, we calm the nervous system, but we open up all the areas inside the lungs to allow the circulation to get in there so that things don't accumulate or stagnate within the lungs. So breathing is very good to help increase the circulation through the lungs themselves. And another very positive aspect in this time is to release a flood of immune cells into the bloodstream. The lungs do a lot more than just get the air in and out of the body. That's one of the most important functions of life. But we also get rid of waste, and we also release platelets and immune cells into the bloodstream through the lungs. And it allows it to get into all those areas. So we're looking at building strong and healthy lungs. And the massage, the pressure change inside the body, is very good for the internal organs. So there are preparation exercises looking at a few different things, and if you need to just give the legs a little bit more work at any time, you can just stop and roll the foot around, or lift the knees a little bit higher, things like that. They're very simple, very beneficial. Tai Chi, Qigong, Shiba Shi. Shiba is 18. Shiba Shi, 18 techniques or 18 skills. Qi is the Chinese word for energy. Kung, Kung Fu. Confucius. It means to invest your time. So, energy work, energy time, Qigong, a harmony of the mind, the body, and the breath. Tai Chi is the name of the black and white diagram. Literally means balance. So to put all that together in English, we could say 18 energy balancing exercises. First, to prepare, relax the breath. Normally we breathe in and out through the nose, with the tongue on the palate just behind the top teeth, as if we're saying the letter L. We relax, we release, we let go, allow the arms to hang loose by the sides. Breathing in quietly through the nose, we're trying to get the feeling of expanding and opening all the joints, the spaces between the joints, to open the skeleton, and then to relax, to release, to let go of any unnecessary tension from the muscles. But we do like to always keep the idea of keeping the spine up, keeping the head up, sitting up straight, even when we lower into the legs, or when we lift through the legs. Relaxing to sit into the feet, push the arms forward, gently engaging the muscles in the legs. Use the legs to lift the body, coming up through the spine, extend and project out into the fingertips. Soften the arms and bring the hands in a little bit closer, and then push the palms down through the air. And then let the hands relax and release by the sides again. Simply called raising the arms or waving the hands through the air. We try to get a focus on the feeling and awareness of being here now, being present, to feel the air coming up through the spaces between the fingers, to feel the blood flow down into the fingers as they hang loose. Feel the strength from the floor, push up through the legs, lift through the spine, extend and project against gravity, out into the arms, and then being able to bring the hands in to push down. Looks like a very simple exercise, but we're focusing on the strength from the center of the body to be able to push the arm forward. We're using the lifting of the body to be able to extend and project the arm out, keeping it in good alignment. If we lift like this, then the arm won't be able to have much strength, no matter how much we train these muscles here. But if we keep the joints in good alignment, the arm is actually sitting into a strong position where the strength from the middle of the body can go right through the spine and into the hands. Sitting, lifting, being aware of the air, to feel the flow as your hands push through the air, and as the blood flows down into the fingers, you increase the pressure on the legs and lift again, waving the hands through the air. Expanding the chest, lifting the hands, opening to extend the arms to the sides, relaxing to release the elbows, bringing the hands in closer, and then pushing down through the air again as you sit with the knees from the middle of the body and sit up straight to let the hands hang loose by the sides. Opening, and closing. Empty the breath. Fill the lower part of the lungs first. If you run out of breath there, just relax and take another breath to continue to open to the sides. Relax the chest, closing the ribs, activating the diaphragm. If you can do it in one breath, that's good, but try not to hold or force the breath. And focus on the filling to expand and to feel the exchange where it changes. The same with the lowering. The diaphragm activates, empties the lower part of the lungs, and then it releases again to start breathing in. So we try and get the focus on feeling and adjusting the speed of the movement to suit your demand for oxygen. Usually, as you relax, you don't have such a high demand, you use the oxygen in your blood more efficiently. So you can have a longer, slower and deeper breath, which is very beneficial for helping to calm the nervous system. The mind, the body and the breath in harmony. Next, we want to lift the hands a little higher, to extend and project up, whatever level you feel comfortable with. And so we get that idea of lifting upwards. And then we bring the hand down to the horizon and draw an arc across the sky to the other side. It's called painting a rainbow. Now again, this can be done at any level. Just drawing an arc from side to side to lift where you feel comfortable and to turn. But down through the body there's some really important things. The first one is moving the center of gravity over the base of balance, so you're really standing on one leg, the other leg's just resting, hanging heavy on the floor. And then you sit with your hips to turn your hips to about 45 degrees without twisting or straining the knee, keeping the body upright and level. Then you move the weight over onto the other side, knee in alignment, sitting from the center of the body and looking across to the side. Turning to the middle, you breathe in. Turning to the side, you relax to breathe out. Lifting, moving the weight, sitting with the balance, sitting up straight, as if painting a rainbow across the sky. Returning to the center to open the hands, and this was one of the first exercises we did, as if you could reach into the sky to separate the clouds. Think of projecting up from above your head. If you're inside, think about it up through the ceiling, up through the roof, way up into the sky, high up into the clouds, even up above where the aeroplanes fly. Opening out wide to the horizon and then relaxing to lower. Sitting with the hips to scoop and gather, to engage the muscles in the legs, up through the back, up through the body, to lift from the top of the head, to open and extend out. So just doing a couple of variations to emphasize different levels. If you're sitting, you just stay sitting, or if you can't lift the heels or stretch up very far, just stay sitting with the weight in your feet. Open out to where you can comfortably. If you feel that you can sit a little bit lower, keeping the upright posture, and if you feel comfortable to move the weight forward into the front of the feet, you can extend that a little bit extra, then open out, lowering again. Or if you feel comfortable extending to stretch, lift the heels and then open out to the sides. Separating the clouds. So whenever you're not feeling so good, if it's a bit gloomy, try and lift the spirit. Imagine you've won the wellness lottery, ta-da! And it's good, it stretches through all of the internal organs as well. Separating the clouds. The next exercise, sitting in the horse riding stance to push. If you imagine a wall just in front of your toes, and you put your hands on the wall, you don't want to push yourself away from the wall like doing a push-up. In this one we want to sit down so that we can engage the muscles in the legs, through the middle of the body, up through the spine, the shoulder moves the elbow rotates through the forearm, and we flex the wrist as if we're sitting down to push against something. So this is the horse riding stance, to sit and to push. Well, we do that with one hand. Then we open and lift with the palms to extend. And we call this rolling the arms. I'm doing it straight ahead just so you can think about the balance there. But if you turn the body to the side, then you sit with the hips to push with the palm, sitting in the horse riding stance, and then rotate to turn to lift the arms, rolling the arms, relaxing the shoulder, let the elbow drop down, and as you sit in the middle, focus on the center of the palm to push about halfway forward. Then rotate the body to turn, rolling the arms, and sitting in the horse riding stance. Rolling the arms to breathe in, to open and expand the chest. Relaxing the shoulders and chest. Sitting to focus, activate the diaphragm to empty the breath and use the diaphragm filling the lower part of the lungs and opening up into the chest. Again, normally this breathing is done in and out through the nose, unless it's blocked, with the tongue on the palate behind the top teeth, as if saying the letter L. So we can keep the jaw relaxed. We can relax down the front of the body to sit up straight, rolling the arms to turn the body, and sitting to push with the palm. That's a strong movement, strong focus in this position. How far? Well, that depends how far you feel that you can go comfortably. And sometimes as you go through the exercise set, you might loosen a little bit more and, I can go a little bit further. Or other times you might feel like, I think I've done enough of that one, I'll just reduce it and do a little bit less. It's okay. Finding the level that is the most beneficial for you is the most important thing to do. Rolling the arms and sitting in the horse riding stance. Next exercise. It's like paddling with the hands. You imagine being on a board in the water, paddling with your hands. Yeah? That's the basic flow of the movement. But there's a little bit more. There always is with Tai Chi Qigong. There's the focus of what we do with the mind. We want to be mindful to feel what we're doing, but then once we become mindful and we get the mind into focus, then there's various exercises that we use. And the first one is to relax down the front of the body, right down into the middle, to the abdomen. When we sit to engage the muscles through the legs and to sit up straight through the back, we think of the tailbone, the lowest part of the spine. And when we lift the hands up, we think of lifting up along the spine, through the middle of the back, through the neck, right up to the top of the head. And then from the top of the head, as we extend the hands forward, to the tip of the tongue. And then from the tip of the tongue, we relax the balance back down into the feet. And then we sit to push, as if pushing back through the water, activating the spine and lifting up along the back. But some visualization or imagery that may help you to do this exercise better, as well as just thinking of paddling in the water, I like to think about skipping, lifting the energy up the back, over the top, lifting the back. And at the front, extending out, I move the weight slightly forward into the toes, extend out into the fingertips, and imagine the tiger pouncing, leaping into the air in full flight, stretching the torso. But then to recover the balance, just sit. Legs, hips, down through the middle of the body, and then activate internally, pushing back, and lift along the spine. As if rowing a boat across the lake, paddling with the hands. Adjust to the level that suits you. Depending on how far you can go comfortably. As if rowing the boat across the lake. Next, supporting the ball in front of the shoulder. It's like holding a ball in the palm. You can imagine like a tennis ball, cricket ball, something like that. Or maybe even just a piece of fruit, an orange, an apple, something. What's your favorite? Presenting with the hand. We lift the palm as if offering a gift. In traditional medicine, we think of the heart from under the arm, down through the palm, out into the ring in the little finger, and then coming back down again. With the legs, we think about the balance, standing comfortably on one side, the other leg just resting, and then releasing that foot onto the floor and moving the weight across, lifting with the palm. Now if you feel comfortable with that, you might be able to sit a little bit lower and focus on bringing the hand up. But don't try to go further where you end up stretching or extending out of alignment. Always think of where is the strongest, most comfortable position. This is where the strength is. And it surprises people sometimes that even simple movements like this have a martial art origin or base. The lifting of the palm, well, the palm fits perfectly underneath the elbow when it lifts like this, so it makes a good blocking movement. When the arm thrusts forward, this angle creates a shear force that can deflect away from the body. The fingers could be used to jab forward, jab forward the fingers, or even the edge of the hand here to focus on the strength there, like a chopping movement onto the edge of the hand. As we sit the weight back down again, the hand goes into position like a monk in meditation, but that's also a strong position of alignment. When we push, we've got that strength to push the body weight back. When we sit down, we've got the strength to pull down. When we turn through the center, we've got the strength to block, pull across to the side, or even push down that little bit extra with the hand so that we're strengthening this leg that we're standing on. So Tai Chi comes from three main origins. The philosophy and culture of ancient China. The understanding that the body is energy, and one of the most important things is to keep that energy in balance. To nurture and to cultivate. It's like gardening. When conditions are right, things thrive. So we're trying to create the right conditions to look after everything. From thousands of years of refinement of the martial arts, the movements are very precise. But the most important aspect of that is the mind intent. The focus, the mind, the body, and the breath. And then it becomes medicine. From traditional Chinese medicine, understanding the trajectories and alignment through the body, realizing that everything is connected in a holistic way. We have supporting the ball in front of the shoulder, a weight transfer and balance, sitting comfortably, standing on one leg, lifting with the palm. To focus and to release. The next exercise is called gazing at the moon, which literally means turning to look back, the moon in the background. But with our hands, we want to think of it perhaps a bit like a bouncing ball. It goes up into the air, runs out of energy, and then it starts falling. Now if this is like a rubber ball, we absorb into the legs, connect to the earth, and then release the energy to lift again, to extend up and turn, as if gazing at the moon. Relax the shoulders, sit with the hips to return to the center, absorb the energy in the legs, push off through the legs, lift through the spine, and extend to go as far as you feel comfortable. Now if you can go right up and move all the weight onto one leg, well then that's okay. Just think about your balance in that position. Then relax back down again. If you can't go that far, just go as far as you can comfortably, whatever level that might be. To be honest, I really like doing the movements at a reduced level. But the expression is, use it or lose it. Go as far as you can comfortably, regularly, without causing any injury or strain. And if you do that today, then you'll probably be able to do that tomorrow as well. If you don't do it today, tomorrow's turned into yesterday real quickly. And then all of a sudden, you'll say, I remember when I used to be able to. So even if it is some time since you've done some movements, be gentle and kind to yourself. Nurture and look after yourself. Only going as far as you can comfortably. Now the next two exercises really come from the the classic Tai Chi movements. We've got the focus, sitting in the horse riding stance, sitting like the monk in meditation on the center line, and then turning to the side to gather, to push with the palms. Now if you're just starting out with these exercises, it's often easier to do that with one hand. And I'll turn around to make it a little bit easier with my left hand. From 12 o'clock, push down in front of the body, and we'll say, because I've turned the body to the side, that's 3 o'clock. Then sitting to push down to 6 o'clock, turning to the side to pull the hand back to 9 o'clock, and then sitting down again, bringing the hand up to 12 o'clock. So in each quarter of the circle, the hand is doing a slightly different movement. But the aim is to be able to keep that circle nice and smooth. And I'm going to try with the right hand, you pull back. I think of the pull back like pulling the old lawnmower, using the body to be able to pull back. Pushing with the palm sitting onto the center line, I think of the monk in meditation. Turning to the side, just gently pushing down, and then sitting down to the lowest point. And so this ends up like a push down, blocking down into position. Pull back, push down, and sit up straight. Turning from the center. Pushing with the palms. With the focus on a smooth and continuous circle. Breathing in to gather. Relaxing out to sit up and focus. Breathing in to gather, to embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. Well, if we can go around the circle one way, then we should be able to go around the circle the other way. But this time we look at the palm to look at the center of the palm, so the energy is focused onto the back of the hand. We turn to the side to get ready to push down and sit down to gather towards the middle, sweeping across the center line using the center of the body like in a golf swing or tennis or anything where we use the strength from the middle of the body. We've got this sweep across to the center. Lifting with the palm, the arms in a strong position, again where it can lift. And this one, which is a little bit different. It's called to ward off, which is a deflecting movement from the martial arts. If there's pressure against my arm, I want to sit the center down, release the shoulder, lower the elbow, and roll the hand towards the center line. So it focuses like this. This is rolling the hand to the front to ward off. When you first start, a simple image can be like reading a book. Look at your palm as you sit to the center. When you turn to the side, you put the book in the other hand and then relax and sink to sit and return to the center. Waving the hands like clouds rolling by. Like the clouds, you see a shape. But then you keep looking and it changes into something else. This is the flow of the traditional Tai Chi movements. Waving the hands like clouds. Or if you're trying to remember it, like reading a book, sit into the center position, turn to the side to swap the book into the other hand, and sit to return to the center. Waving the hands like clouds rolling by. That's a very traditional Tai Chi form. Now the next couple of movements, I'm going to turn around to make it just a little bit easier to be able to follow the directions. Again, starting with the feet parallel, sit with the hips, horse riding stance. Then move the weight over onto one side and turn with the hips so that you can lift the knee and take a light step out on the heel. Now this step is not directly in front of the heel, but if you start there, straight in front, then you can take a little step out to the side. So it's like as if you're standing on a square or a rectangle, about 45 degrees off to the side. We're going to use this for two different exercises. The first one is sitting to scoop and gather, as if gathering water in the arms. and sitting back to stretch, to sit down and push up as if lifting the sky, and then to open out towards the horizon. Lower the toes, being careful not to go too far forward with the knee. Think of it, the weight goes through the hip, through the knee, and through the foot flat into the floor. But if you lunge forward, the strain goes onto the joint, and the direction is out here in front somewhere, so that's too stressful for the knee. So you want to sit like as if you're scooping together to hold something heavy from the middle of the body, to sit up straight. And then spiral out through the arms to push. How far? Well, again, that depends on what you feel comfortable with. The same here, you might just soften the knees to sit, to scoop and gather. And then move back to push and open. You might feel comfortable to go a little bit further. Stretch out, move into the middle, sit to scoop and gather, move back, sit onto one leg to be able to stretch, open wide, and relax to release, sitting with the hips. Come back again to change. 1 to get the balance, 2 to lift the knee, and 3 to place the foot. 1, 2, 3. That little bit out to the side. Lower the toes, sit with the hips, scoop together, sit back to stretch, push out wide to open, relax and release. Knee into good alignment, sit with the hips, sit up through the back. It's called scooping water and looking at the horizon. That can help you to create an image for the movement. But in this scooping position, it's a really strong movement from the traditional Tai Chi forms. We often use this position where the arm sits and scoops or rolls onto the back of the hand like the cloud hand. Spiraling through the arms has the rotation that can be used in many different movements. Or to get that exercise to push up and stretch up, then open out to the side. Scooping together, sitting back to stretch and to open, and then relaxing to release. And move the weight forward to sit in the middle, engaging the muscles through the legs, through the whole body, coming back again. Changing, same step. 1 to get the balance over the top of the foot. Turn to the 45 degrees to sit with your hip to lift the knee. Step out on the heel, lower the toes, and this time we push with both palms. Lift with the wrists, push to lower down, sit into the middle, and then lift with the palms to push up and out. It's called pushing waves. You can imagine the wave at the ocean, at the beach. If you're looking out to sea, you see the energy lift the water, lift the face of the wave up. It comes over the crest, the wave breaks, the water falls, the water flows back out again to find the lowest level, gravity. Then the next wave of energy lifts the water, it rolls over. From the Tai Chi and the martial arts, we could think of it as sitting the strength down into the middle of the body to use the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist to push, and then to come back again. Pushing down to sit, to get ready, sitting down to push up and out in front of the body. Like pushing waves. Come back again to change, slow and steady, strong and stable, smooth stepping. Push with the palms, roll back to release, sit to get ready, focus to push. Extend, release. Sit, focus, push. Let's just do one more time. Pushing waves. Now we come back again to change. It's almost the same. Stepping out to get ready, moving into that stance to have a strong position. Now once that knee's in good alignment, use the body to move the center of gravity over the top of that foot to stand comfortably on one leg, and then think about the ankle at the back, placing the heel down without transferring any weight, then bend the knee, and then move the center of balance back to sit onto the back foot. The arms flow backwards and forwards like a flying bird. We think of the flying dove. Everyone knows the dove, the universal symbol of peace. A calm heart, relaxed to sit and to center. Move the weight slow and steady, strong and stable. Sit as far as you feel comfortable, but always with that relaxed, peaceful, calm feeling. The mind, the body, and the breath in harmony, with a mindful awareness of yourself and your surroundings. If the arms get a little bit tired holding them up, just let them drop down. Also, try and keep the best alignment that you can. Don't lean or tilt in the movements. Try and stay the most relaxed that you can. Coming back to change. Slow and steady. 1 to get the balance. 2 to lift the knee. 3 to place the foot. Then moving forward, relax and sink. Sitting back, push back to open as far as you feel comfortable. Put the knee into alignment first, and then the hips over the top of the foot. Standing comfortably on one leg, carefully lower the heel, then move the weight back. Flow movements. The flying dove. And to come back again, to step in, to return to the center. This is our horse riding stance again, this time for punching exercise. And if you do want to get a little bit more work on the legs, sit just a little bit wider, a little bit lower. Sit up straight through the back and squeeze the bones. The important thing to think about here in the extension of the arm is the alignment. Don't lift the shoulder or get the back out of the line. Try and sit the shoulder down so you can sit into the middle of the body. So again, you're sitting to engage the muscles on the legs, the pelvic floor and the abdomen and lower back, up through the middle of the back. Bring the shoulder back, hold to focus and gently squeeze, then release to breathe in. Sitting and punching. Big breath. Working with the circulation, the diaphragm, massaging the internal organs, calming the nervous system by focusing on a big breath, control and focus, gently squeezing the muscles to squeeze the bones, helping to stimulate the immune system and to circulate that through the body by using a big breath. Punching exercise. Next we have a big bird flying, the migrating geese. The geese can't soar or glide through the air like the eagles or the albatross. They have to keep flapping their wings, so they're renowned for their endurance, especially since they take off at sea level in India and fly over the top of the Himalayas. Migrating geese, all the way across from India, across the mountains, across China. Good simple exercise too. Stretching through the middle of the body, pushing out to the horizon, sitting to engage the muscles. Stretching up. And coming back down again, we change to another big circle. Think of the horizon. Relax and center the body to lift the hands overhead as if you're balancing something on top of your head. And then out to the horizon, and then return back down into the center. Like a rotating wheel turning from the hub. And again, I emphasize that you can adjust the range of the movement depending just how far you feel that you can go comfortably. Try to go as far as you can comfortably regularly to maintain that, and that's that idea of stretching in the air again and keeping the focus on turning from the center of the body. Breathe in to lift and relax out to lower. Well, let's just change direction there. Turn to the side, breathe out, then breathe in. Big circle. Relax out to release down. Turning from the center. On the rotation, the axis line from the top of the head through the middle of the body. Let's just do one more. Around the circle. And then next, moving the weight across, so you sit to get your balance, and it's called stepping while bouncing a ball. Put the foot down straight, center the body, sit to about 45 degrees, lift your knee, and focus on the center of the palm as you lower the hand. Stepping while bouncing the ball. I don't know if you've been counting while we go through the sequence here, but this is number 17, so that's our second last movement. But again, something that I think that is very important that you should do every day, and that is spend some time standing on one leg and focusing on your balance. It's not rocket science, it's really quite simple. You get what you practice, you lose what you don't use. So balance is a very important thing to work with. Be able to hit the balance. Last but not least, number 18, settling the chi to close. Unlock the knees, reach into the air, just like you've just won the lottery, the wellness lottery. Keep your head up. Relax the scalp, the forehead, and the face. But when you relax, keep a little smile. The inner smile goes through the whole body. Sigh to relax and release any tension from the breath. Think of the calm heart, the calm nervous system. Letting gravity go through the body, through the hips, through the knees, through the ankles, through the feet, into the floor. But allow your spirit to lift and lengthen the spine, to stretch up, to stand tall. But to let go any excess. We don't want to carry any excess baggage around. We want the body to be centered and to be balanced. To settle and calm the nervous system. To focus into the middle. To connect to the earth and to project to the sky. The Taichi Greeting also represents the yin and the yang. It's a symbol of balance to wish each other good health and good balance. It's also used as a sign of humility, a gesture of respect for all things, and as a greeting to each other, to wish each other well. Stay well, take care, look forward to seeing you again soon.